And we're back. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the Viking Arms. We're in a slightly different location this week. Let me just get my screen about right. There you go. Right, I think we're there. Good. So welcome back. That week went pretty quickly. Let's see who's first through the door tonight. I know a lot of people have been waiting for the Viking Arms quiz. Lots of people have been saying it's a highlight of their week. You're mad, but I suppose we have to kind of get that in the current times. So who have we got waiting for us? The thing told me that we had about 36, 37 people waiting to get through the door. So let's see who we've got. Danielle first up. Okay, that's my niece, so you're very welcome. Danielle, are you playing with your husband as well? Is Besnick with you and the girls? Just say yes in the comments and we'll know. Who else have we got joining us tonight? The Kellets are back. The Fishers are here. Good. It's nice to see that we've got some regulars coming through the door. So come up to the bar, get your favourites in with the Ashes. Look, I've got Ashes looming over me this evening. I'll tell you more about this get-up later. The Beasleys are here. Sam P. Entering 2021. Blimey, you're well in advance. Very, very welcome. The Cravens are here. This could be double trouble tonight. Tom Craven and Kai O'Hare working as a team. So they're quite clever boys. So we'll see how well you get on, guys. The Angels are back. Good to see you guys. I've had Jay in maths this week, and he's been doing really good, Mrs. Angel. So we should be very happy with him. The McPhees are back.
The McPhees.
Thank God the McPhees are here. One of my favourite Shiplake families ever. I love the McPhees. Sorry, Tracy, if I'm making you blush. The Deans are here. The Slavikovskis are here. We've got the Greens and the Woods so far. We're up to 51 teams. We've got the Milburns here. The Youngs are back. The Vanans, good to have you back, guys. Jess, Chris, Sid and Austin. And I should say, I'm going to do it now, but Jess and Chris, very happy anniversary for Monday. Okay, I don't know how long it's been, but I'm sure it probably feels like a lifetime to you both. But happy anniversary for Monday. Hope you have a great day. The Hunts and the Humphreys are here. The Coles are here. The Reeses are here. Yep, Danielle, you've got Besnick and 7 of your friends. You are going to be the Espresso Quarantinis. We've got the Strides are back. The Blomfelds are here. The Farquhars are here. This could be a tight quiz tonight. There's some big named players coming in. What is the trophy that the Pink Hippo is sitting on? That's one of the few remaining boat club trophies. I say few remaining because I'm pretty sure they tend to walk around and sort of make a return every few years once boys remember that they've got them. That particular trophy is for the top cocks. And the Pink Hippo is, if you know, you know, but Pink Hippo is Leander Club. The Birches are here. We've got the 24 years. That really is a lifetime. The Murrays are here. The Revs Holy Trinity are back in the pub. The Gillespies, Grace and Evie, you're here. Tom Sharp, you're not on your own. We're all with you. We're all hoping that you do well tonight, Tom. The Baxters are here. The Brazzles are here. The Whites, the Lockwoods, the Morleys, the Emmets. God, this is just right. It's a runaway success. We've already got, what we're up to now, 77 teams. We'll do a few more hellos in just a moment. So whilst people are still coming in, just want to say again, very welcome back to the Viking Arms. This week has absolutely flown by, and for those of us who are current Vikings, it's been a busy week. We've all been adapting to the remote teaching, and the students have been adapting to the remote learning again. So we hope that that's all been going well, but let's face it, let's forget about that. It's Friday night. We're not interested in any of that. It's all about quiz and just having a bit of fun on a Friday evening. So it's a bit of time to relax. I'm absolutely exhausted after this week. I'm not sure if I'm the only one who's been finding it particularly tiring this week. How have you found your week to be, Tam?
My week has been pretty good. I've written lots, I've researched lots, and I feel I've kind of kept you going with the teaching.
and feeding me
Yeah,
as well.
there's been a lot of feeding.
There's been a lot of food. And it's been rubbish this week. The weather's been so bad as well. Haven't been able to get out on the bike. I was doing quite well, sort of losing weight and being really kind of up for it. But this week's just been rubbish. So looking forward to a much better weekend. And with that said, let's kind of just, we're all coming together. We've got 86 people in the pub right now. So let's get cozy and let's get down to a sort of a nice evening of quizzing. Who else have we got? We've got the Browns are back. The Passmores are here. Mackworth Prides are here, and I can promise you all there's no round this week from the Mackworth Prides. You'll be probably pleased to hear. The Cultises are here. The Durkoops are here. Family joining from Switzerland. Wow. Can anyone beat Switzerland? Have we got anyone further afield from Switzerland? I know we've got some listeners up in Edinburgh. I think that's Nikki's mum and dad have probably tuned in. Let's see what else we get. Can we all see Wilson later? Wilson is, well, we've kind of got the dog in the room with us at the moment. Wilson is trying to break down the door.
Should we explain who Wilson is to some people who are new? We should maybe explain. So Wilson is our rescue kitten that we rescued about a week into lockdown. And for people who met him when he was brand new, he is now very much bigger than he was. And if you can hear any strange noises during the quiz tonight, it's Wilson.
Yeah, he's giving us a bit of a guilt trip at the moment because he's crying on the other side of the door, but he'll get over it. The Kennys are here, the Houghtons are here. People are still coming through the door. So what have I got to tell you? We've got some newcomers to the quiz. We've got some new Vikings. We've got some current Vikings, or lots of current Vikings, and obviously hello to all the old Vikings as well. We've got a virtual open morning tomorrow, so if there's any of you joining us tonight who are going to be part of the virtual open morning tomorrow morning, you're very welcome as well. And thanks for joining us again. We are, as we now know, we've obviously, I think we might have helped to kick the trend off a little while ago now, but your sport for choice when it comes to online quizzes. So thank you for choosing us and no one else tonight. I'm going to do a couple of special shout outs. This is for Louise and Patrick, Mr. and Mrs. Rapplemore. They are our guest music round writers for this evening. So they've got a brilliant set of questions. I really hope you enjoy those. I've already said a very special hello to my niece who's playing with all of her girlfriends and her husband in London. If she's here, I want to say a special hello to Millie Baker. It's your birthday today. I think you are turning 17 today, so happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Millie.
And we've also been made aware there's loads of families playing, and including lots of grandparents who are listening in with families who are stuck on their own in lockdown. So we're really pleased that you can all join us as well and play along. So I will start to introduce the rules. If you're new to it, like in the previous weeks, you've got 4 rounds. There's 11 questions in each round, and on the 11th question, I'll ask you to name 10 things, and gives you a chance to have a bit of a chat about what you think the answer will be. There'll also be an opportunity for you to tell me how you're getting on and what's been happening in your lives this week. At the end, there'll be a score out of 80, and just write the answers down. Just get a piece of paper, jot the answers down, but for God's sake, don't put the answers in the comments box. If people really want to know, they can Google it, because, on your conscience, on your head be it, but don't put the answers in the comments box. I'll read each question twice. There aren't any jokers, so no doubling up of points. Do try not to cheat, as always, and obviously enjoy yourselves. Keep talking to us via the comments box, and don't forget to keep it clean, because it's a family show, and we want to read out as many as we can. So it's now 5 past. We're already up to 96 teams. So I think we're going to make a start. Hello, Mr. Setter. Hello, Dr. Dresario. Nice to have you back as well. Okay, so we're going to start with the 4 rounds. Just give you a bit of a heads up. We've got a round on general knowledge. We've got a round on music, very generously made up by Louise and Patrick. We've got a special. We're going real high tech this week. We've got a picture round on some logos, and we're finishing off with what are we finishing off with?
Another round.
Another round. Current affairs. So
Yes.
If you've been reading the papers this week, hopefully there's something for you. Okay, so all a bit different this week. Here we go then. General knowledge, question number 1. In which fictional town is Coronation Street set? In which fictional town is Coronation Street set? People still turning up, still saying hello. Tom Craven, yeah, you've already checked in. Gotcha. Question 2. What is the largest landlocked country in the world by size? What is the largest landlocked country in the world by size? And I will explain, obviously my background's had to change a little bit. We've had to move things around quite a bit in the Settle household. We all needed a bit of space to work, so the Viking Arms has had to shift to another room for this week, maybe for the next couple of weeks, so that we don't all tread on each other's toes. So, and this is for tomorrow morning. So yeah, bit of a different room. Hopefully the lighting's all working out, but yeah, you'll let me know, I'm sure. Question number 3. What type of lift was used by Eddie Hall in 2016 to lift a record 500 kilograms off the floor? What type of lift was used by Eddie Hall in 2016 to lift a record 500 kilograms off the floor? Oh, Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown, the guy who's supposed to be in charge of welfare, mental health, well-being, you know, trying to make people feel good. And that's the best you can come out with. Wow, where do we get these guys from? Question number 4. There's three parts to this. You're going to need all 3 to get the point. If you complete the 3 Peaks challenge in the UK, what 3 mountains have you climbed? If you complete the 3 Peaks challenge in the UK, what 3 mountains have you climbed? And again, we're just going to need all 3 mountains for you to get the point. 1 point available for that question. Tom Sharp, you need to focus on answering these questions rather than having little chats. Come on.
The Scotch books, you're very mean, but that has made me chuckle too.
Oh, I mean, Tam did offer me a bit of makeup to try and soften the glare, but you know what can I say? What can I say? I'm getting old. Question 5. How many stages are there in the Tour de France? How many stages are there in the Tour de France? I'm just glancing over because Wilson is going crazy in the background, but we might get him out later. Question number 6. The letterbox of number 10 Downing Street is inscribed with what? The letterbox of number 10 Downing Street is inscribed with what? So to give you a bit of a clue, what's the title that goes on the letterbox of 10 Downing Street? Question 7. Mrs. Coltis, why are you telling us you've got no idea? Why are you showing off about that?
I'm quite sure it doesn't say that on the letterbox.
Right, question 7, one for the locals, I'm afraid. So sorry, Danielle. Which famous rowing course is 2,112 meters long? Which famous rowing course is 2,112 meters long? Question number 8. Which city has more Michelin-starred restaurants than any other in the world? Which city has more Michelin-starred restaurants than any other in the world?
I think the Bananas have just figured out they maybe got a point on the previous question.
Well done, Bananas. Well, let's face it, they've been up and down it enough times, they should know. Question number 9. In which sport would you watch the Keirin, the Madison, and the Omnium? In which sport would you watch the Keirin, the Madison, and the Omnium? We're up to 102 teams playing so far this evening, which I'm relieved by, because I thought after last week, sorry Hugh, but I think I was expecting a few people to be scared off this week, but we're doing all right, so that's good to see. Number 10. Don't judge us on this question. You either know it or you don't. Mr. Matt with Pride should know it. What type of number, remember this is general knowledge as well, okay, so it's got to be something for everyone.
And remember, he's a maths teacher.
What type of number can always be written as a fraction in the form A over B, where A and B represent whole numbers? That question is probably about as close as we're ever going to get to a university challenge style question. So one for all you clever clogs out there. What type of number can always be written as a fraction in the form A over B, where A and B represent whole numbers? This is young. Tricky round. Why do people insist on telling us when they found it too hard, too tricky? They're always the loudest, aren't they? They're always the ones to call out. Oh, I found it too tough. No one else is saying anything. I think.
Oh, good.
Reese says more about you.
Reese is offering proof. That's proof. What we like.
Nope. You're all right. Okay, and the final question in this round. With the exception of Donald Trump, I want you to list the names of the last 10 presidents of the United States. Doesn't need to be in chronological order. Just who were the last 10 presidents of the United States of America? Okay, who were the last 10 presidents in the US? And whilst you're thinking about that, you're going to obviously probably get 4 or 5 of those, but think carefully about who. All right, most of you will get 4 or 5 quite easily, but then you'll think carefully about who comes next. Talk to us in the comments box. So how are you celebrating the start of this weekend? We know that quite a few of you like to kind of gear up to Friday night in the Viking Arms, and you like to have a bit of a special evening as you all come together as a family on a Friday evening. I know, for example, that Adam Hunt was really looking forward to playing along with his parents this evening, and they're having fish and chips, especially for a Friday evening. But it's not just any fish and chips. It's posh fish and chips. So Alex has gone all the way to Orwell's to get them posh fish and chips to have with their quiz. So what are you guys doing? Let us know. Tom Sharp, you're having steak and chips for dinner. Good man. Sounds lovely. Anyone else? Just you, Tom. It's just you. You're the only one having something nice to spoil yourself for this evening. How are you celebrating the start of this weekend, the end of the first week of remote learning? Let us know. Eddie, vibing. I'm sure it means something to you. Vibing, if you can explain. The Dirk groups are doing some Greek. Can I? Now listen. The rules are very clear. You get the question twice. You have it twice. I can't be here all evening reading out questions. So if you missed it, tough. Takeaway mac and cheese for the bananas. Ham, egg and chips. Oh, yes. Chish and fips for the cultists. Danielle, you're vibing too. If anyone can tell me what vibing means. Meatballs in a homemade tomato sauce. Oh.
Someone else is having fish and chips from Orwell's.
Kyle's having fish and chips from Orwell's with Mr.
Very
Trick.
Disappointing.
We did have fish and chips from Orwell's once, and it was part of the tasting menu. It was a tiny little slither of fish with a couple of sprinkles of potato on it and a little spritz of vinegar. It was a mouthful. Anyway, hopefully you're having more than that. Dr. Rosario, you're marking. Take the night off. Come on, it's Friday night. Relax. Chinese fakeaway. We used to love a Chinese fakeaway.
Oh.
And Tam's claim to fame is we were in the Waitrose in Henley when Mahe Drysdale was like an Olympic rower. He's done very well. If you know him, you know him. And he was just going in for the Chinese fakeaway, and Tam sideswiped him and said, wait, no, we're having that.
Don't come between me and my green curry.
The gardeners are having lots of wine. Pizza Friday for the Weatherstons. Dominoes for the Kellets. ginger and chili salad. There's some good food on the menu for tonight.
Food.
Right, I need to press on with round 2 because
Ben's Scotch, but still on gruel. Oh, Ben, you were having that last week. I feel really bad.
I'm sure it's very nice. Cool. Right, anyway, so we're moving on. This round is all about logos. So I'm going to give you 10 questions. I'm going to ask you a question, and then we'll have a picture round or the second half will be some pictures. Okay, so hopefully you can see the screen all right. Question number 1. I'm not repeating any questions. God, why do people keep asking me?
To be fair, that maths question makes no sense to me, so I would want it repeated, but that wouldn't actually help me come up with the answer.
No, I think we just have to accept you're not going to get it. Right, so number 1. What symbol is common to both the Budweiser and Rolex logos? What symbol is common to both the Budweiser and Rolex logos? Tom Craven, you're absolutely calling him out. What are you marking, Dr. Trezorio? You haven't given him anything. Number 2. What fast food restaurant is represented by the Golden Arches? What fast food restaurant is represented by the Golden Arches? Question 3. Which brewer's logo features a red triangle? Which brewer's logo features a red triangle? Now, I can't remember who it was, but one of you was very keen to tell me how it was a very, very old trademark as well a few weeks ago, so I thought I had to include it, just for you, whoever you are. Which brewer's logo features a red triangle? Question 4. Which fashion brand is represented by the double C logo? Which fashion brand is represented by the double C logo? There you go, Karen C. That one's just for you.
Mrs. Young's having a bit of a flex as well.
Oh, big flex, Mrs. Young. Okay, well, hopefully, I hope you've got it right. Question number 5. Which logo includes a picture of the Matterhorn? Which logo features a picture of the Matterhorn? Emma Murray, you want to see the kitten. Lots of people want to see the kitten. I think he's cried himself to sleep.
Your parenting style leaves a lot to be desired.
We'll give him a shake in a minute. Question number 6. In which logo, this is one for the kids, in which logo would you find a maroon seagull? In which logo would you find a maroon seagull? The Durkoops, yes, because I just anticipated you coming. That one was for you. Yeah. Question number 7. Which logo, or which company's logo implies that the company can provide everything from A to Z? Which logo implies that the company will provide everything from A to Z? Oh, Mr. Brown, you're doing that funny thing where you put silly answers in the... This is the deputy headmaster. This is what we've got to work with here.
Where's Mr. Brown?
There, look.
Oh, Mr. Brown.
Mr. Brown. Question number 8. Which company's logo features a hidden arrow which implies speed and precision? Which company's logo features a hidden arrow which implies speed and precision? Or at least that's what they want it to imply. I don't know if they deliver on that.
Oh,
see what I did?
Yeah, I really did.
Question number 9. What colour bow tie does Julius Pringles wear? What colour bow tie does Julius Pringles wear? Question number 10. It's a bit niche, but give it a chance. How many official logos does Adidas have? How many official logos does Adidas have? Oh, yeah. And we're about to go all high tech on the next bit.
This is literally going to be the most technical thing you have ever seen in your life. Prepare yourselves.
Right, so for the next 10 questions, I'm going to hold a picture up to the camera, and you've just, part of the image has been left out, and any writing has been left out. You've got to tell us which company this logo represents. Okay. This is advanced, Billy. I'll just
We're so technical.
Just take the dog hair off it. There we go. Right, okay, so this is question 11. We'll call it 11A, all right? So this is part A. There we go, there. So that's the first one. And the second one.
So technical.
We'll call this one 11B. Oh, dear.
Honestly, the things we do.
I know. This is so creative this week. And the third one. So we'll call this one 11C. And next one. We'll call this one 11D.
Is your arm about to give in?
Yeah, I'm getting shakier and shakier. Honestly, I've not really drunk that much. It's been a long day. Where are we up to? Right, so then we've got.
Oh, come on.
11E.
That's a guaranteed point, surely.
And next one. This one we'll call 11F. If you want to talk to us in the comments thing, I'm going to have to rest my arm. There's a few more to come. This is a slight intermission in this part of the round. If you want to talk to us, we were quite impressed. Well, Tam's been just keeping us alive this week, and we've had to feed ourselves at lunchtimes, which for staff and students, this is a real pain. Just wondering, if you want to talk to us in the comments. What's the best thing that you've had for lunch this week? Who made it? Let's give them a special shout out. Tam really made a special roasted vegetable and feta quiche for the first time this week. And actually, despite the name, it really wasn't that bad. So it was lovely. Thank you very much.
Thanks.
So tell us, what have you had this week and who's been making it? Where was I up to? Right, so we're on to this one. This is 11G. 11G. Patrick Kenny, anything my mum didn't make. Wow.
Patrick
That
Kenny.
is the ingratitude of it.
Fish finger sandwich though, says Mr. Brown. That's a good one.
Oh, yeah. Isaac cooked a seared tuna. Oh.
God.
Gosh.
That's Isaac's job sorted. Chef.
Okay, next one. This is 11H. Harrison, you made millionaire shortbread for lunch.
That's the kind of lunch I can get on
board with. That is a good lunch. It's a sweet treat. Homemade peanut butter cupcakes. What are you making next week?
Peanut butter and jam flapjack.
On the screen now is 11I.
If you can get them through the wobbling, then that's pretty good. That's a whole different level of complication now.
It's like some form of torture. We're not doing this again. And the last one, 11J. Right, that's enough of that.
Shake it out, shake it out.
Shake it out. Right, okay, so hopefully you think you did all right on that. We are going to crack on with the music round. And again, people, I know, like, if I ask people to help out with a round, and I'm not asking for offers of help, I'll come to you. But people hate it when I ask them for help on this. And so thank you so much to Louise and Patrick for putting this together. I think it's a really good round, bit of something for everyone. So let's see how you get on with this. So for the music round, question number 1. Name singer or band responsible for the biggest selling single of 1960.
Do you remember?
Wow. Wow. Tell them about the incident in the registry office.
No, let's not go there.
Just didn't know my date. Anyway, right. It's not that hard a question either if you just think about the year. Okay, number 2. How many symphonies did Beethoven write? How many symphonies did Beethoven write? Mr. Alcock, I don't believe you at all. So how many symphonies did Beethoven write? Question number 3. 3 of the singles from Ed Sheeran's 2017 album Divide were Castle on the Hill, Galway Girl, and Shape of You. But which one was the biggest seller? So 3 of the singles on Ed Sheeran's 2017 album Divide were Castle on the Hill, Galway Girl, and Shape of You. But which one was the biggest seller? Question number 4. The Rolling Stones had a hit with the single Start Me Up. In which decade was it released? The Rolling Stones had a hit single, Start Me Up, but in which decade was it released? Mr. Rose, they all sound the same. Yeah, I know where you're coming from, Mr. Rose. It's for the kids. It's for the kids. They like it. Question number 5. What was number 1 in the UK on the day that we entered into the current lockdown? What was the number 1 single in the UK on the day we entered into the current lockdown? You got to remember that Miss Rapplemore came up with these questions. So if you think she's all about community choir and classical music and all that sort of stuff, she knows what's going on now as well. Never heard of this. Question number 6. Which 1984 American rock... sorry, I'll start again. Not too much. Which 1984 American rock music mockumentary features a fictional British heavy metal band? Which 1984 American rock music mockumentary features a fictional British heavy metal band?
Gosh, that was tricky.
It was. I'm tripping over the words. I mean, I think actually that question probably shouldn't have been numbered 6. Probably more appropriate for 11.
I don't get that.
Question number 7. Which well-known 80s band had an album called Seven and the Ragged Tiger? Which well-known 80s band had an album called Seven and the Ragged Tiger? And question number 8. Mr. Brown, it's like you preempted it. Who wrote the Hallelujah chorus? Who wrote the Hallelujah chorus? I'm just reading. I like Miss Rapplemore's comment. Wait a sec, Mr. Brown. She knows what's coming up. Question number 9. Which band was created for and won the very first Pop Stars The Rivals? Which band was created for and won the very first Pop Stars The Rivals? And I'm pretty sure they're still around today.
Oh, I don't know.
Sort of. Or they'll I don't know, they'll probably reunite and do that sort of thing. And question number 10. Which Queen album followed A Night at the Opera? Which Queen album followed A Night at the Opera? And finally, question 11. So what we want you to do is, can you name, so we're all very familiar, hopefully, hopefully. We're all very familiar with the Beatles, and how can you not be? They've been around for donkey's years. So think very carefully about this. What might be popular from the Beatles now? What are the 10 most streamed Beatles songs on Spotify? What are the 10 most streamed Beatles songs on Spotify? So think carefully about what might be popular now. We're not looking at iTunes and the whole back catalogue. Okay, sorry, not all the number ones necessarily, but what is most popular just on Spotify? And whilst you're wrestling with that one, we were pretty happy this week because finally, and it's only really happened in the last day or so, but our dog, so we've got quite a big black Labrador who's just asleep at our feet just down here. Finally, she stopped trying to eat Wilson. So Wilson is about the same size as the dog's foot, and she keeps trying to. We keep saying she's kind of licking the cat, but with her teeth. So she's finally stopped trying to eat the cat. So we're absolutely delighted with that. Training's going well. We would rank that as a success. So what successes have you had this week? Anything particularly good happened for you? Obviously, we'll rule out going back to school and being back involved in lessons and meetings and all the rest of it, because obviously they are daily highlights. But anything that's been particularly great for you guys, what have you had this week? Let us know. And whilst you're doing that, you're still trying to think, what are the 10 most streamed Beatles songs on Spotify? The Rapplemores, you did write a great music round for a quiz. Thank you very much. Maud, you've started a new role in your job, so congratulations. I've heard all about it. Hope it's going well. Any other exciting things that have happened this week before we go on to the fourth round? Do let us know. Jess, you made an amazing carrot cake, but Austin was disgusted at the carrot cake.
The Weatherstons let their puppy off the lead for the first time.
Oh, that's good.
Assuming the puppy came back and you still have the puppy. That's good.
Eddie, you've hopped on the cycling gain train. Welcome to the club. Mr. Brown, you made it to Tesco's yesterday. Well done. Hope you've managed to get back. The dogs had fish and chips.
And the Weatherstons got their dog back.
Cindy Harper's completed 2 Open University courses.
Oh my goodness.
So the word of the week at school seems to be MOOC. So I think maybe quite a few people are looking at MOOCs as well.
Massive open online courses, I think. Jake, other people are looking.
Tom, you've made some white chocolate raspberry muffins.
Cold tea brack, nice. Good work.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Jones approves of the music round.
Good. Welcome, Mr. Jones. Nice to see you this evening. Mr. Jones, if someone deserves a bit of a night off to relax after the weeks that you've had dealing with lockdown, I hope you're having a nice time, Mr. Jones. Okay, let's go on to round 4. So this is all about current affairs. We haven't had a current affairs round at all, so we thought we'd give it a go this week. So here we go. Number 1, what does COBRA stand for? We've been hearing a lot about it. What does COBRA stand for? Yes, Hayden, the cat will maybe make an appearance later. Why do I think that most people are... Seriously, you don't want the quiz, do you? If I just sat here with a cat in front of the camera for an hour, you'd be just as happy, wouldn't you? I get it. I get it.
They're just letting us do the quiz for something to do. It's for our benefit.
You're humouring us. Question number 2. Which famous floral event has recently announced it is moving online? Which famous floral event has recently announced it is moving online? You never get to see the dog. Well, the thing is, the dog's massive. If I ask her to jump up, she's going to knock me over. And she's also just conked out. She's getting old.
We shouldn't have suggested that we should just put the cat on screen for an hour. That seems to be.
We'll do this. If the cat's on screen, the dog's head will probably just be sort of ready to catch it. Question number 3. Who can't imagine why disinfectant calls spiked this week? Who can't imagine why disinfectant calls spiked this week? I should probably say, who can't imagine why calls to disinfectant companies spiked this week? That's probably more right. Question number 4. Fans of which event have been gathering online at 8 p.m. every Saturday to sing along to the previous shows? Fans of which event have been gathering online at 8 p.m. every Saturday during lockdown to sing along to previous shows? Mr. Brown, that one was utterly for you. Question number 5. According to Tesco boss Dave Lewis, what has come back into fashion? According to Tesco boss Dave Lewis, what has come back into fashion? And no, it's not the Kiwi look either. According to Tesco boss, what has come back into fashion? Question number 6. Speculation has risen this week around the health of Kim Jong-un. But what was the name of his grandfather, the founder of North Korea? Speculation has risen around the health of Kim Jong-un this week. But what was the name of his grandfather, who was also the founder of North Korea? Can you have a chemistry question? Oh, come on now. I've put in one maths question. That probably made a lot of hearts sink this evening. Where do I go with chemistry? Maybe if I even actually, I was about to say, Dr. Tresario, you can do a chemistry round for us for next week.
No.
But that, I mean, the viewing figures will just go through the floor. So let's not bother with that.
No chemistry.
Question number 7. Who is the Chief Medical Officer for England? Who is the Chief Medical Officer for England? Well, it looks like, Dr. Tresario, you might be being called up this week to provide a science round, maybe. So we'll see what you can come up with, and we'll have to vet it. We've got standards to maintain in the Viking Arms, you know. Question number 8. The winners of which TV show pledged to give their winnings to help street children? The winners of which TV show this week pledged to give their winnings to help street children? There's loads of people. When I say loads of people, there's probably just the same few people all asking the same question for a chemistry or a science round next week. So you can provide an Aussie. We might entertain an Aussie round, perhaps. Where are we up to? Question number 9. Teddy Millwood died this week. Who did he most famously teach his native language to? Teddy Millwood died this week, but who did he most famously teach his native language to? And question number 10. A new nightclub also opened this week, which will also help raise money for the NHS. But where did it open? A new nightclub was, I'll be a bit more specific, a new nightclub was widely reported to have opened this week, which will also be raising money for the NHS. But where did it open? And the final one, so question 11. So if you've been glued to your TV screens at 5 o'clock most days, you would have been catching up with the daily briefings from Downing Street. what we would like you to do is name any 10 of the UK politicians who have led the daily Downing Street briefing over the last, where are we on now, week?
74.
Yeah. So can you name 10 of the UK politicians who have led the daily Downing Street briefing? And whilst you're doing that, if I can just steer the conversation away from doing a chemistry round next week. It's been a tough week. We've all been back to work, back to school after the Easter holidays. So if you want to give anyone a special shout out for making your life a little bit more bearable this week, let us know and we'll say hello. Okay. So if you've got anyone who's especially made this week much easier and nicer for you, let us know. I obviously have to start with my lovely wife Tam, because you feed us, you look after us. You know, we all have stroppy moments, but you know, well, you do too, actually, don't you? But
that's quite awkward because I was actually going to say thank you to Jess and Maud for coffee and chats earlier, brightened my week after I've had quite a tough week, so that was lovely. And you're great too, but that was particularly nice this morning.
I mean, I try, but you know, some of the audience members will know I'm not always the best one for offering consolation. Anyway, who have we got? Some shout outs for the dogs, obviously. Mrs. Green from Mr. Brown. Shout out to nurse Mrs. Rose, who's working in Royal Berks as well, along with Mrs. Crisford, and doing a great job over there. Hayden is giving a shout out to his granny. Kai O'Hare for winning the school quiz earlier today. Nikki Emmett for keeping things organised at school. Maud to her 3 amigos. And a few more coming in. Max Giggins, Tom. Okay. So, just give you right. Okay, well, we are going to fly through the answers in just a moment, but before I do go through the answers, because I know once we've gone through the answers, quite a few people are quick to get out the door. I don't know why they're so quick to rush in.
It's almost rude.
You can't just, enjoy yourselves, just sit back, relax, enjoy the evening. But all there is left to say really is thanks so much for joining us again this evening, and I hope we've made you feel a little bit at home in the Viking arms this week. And we will be back next Friday, even though it is a bank holiday. We will carry on because we've got nowhere better to go. We'll still be here. We presume you still will be too. So please do join us next Friday. So here are the answers. I'll go through this fairly quickly, and remember the total score will be out of 80, and you can let us know how you got on in the comments box at the end. So back to round one, general knowledge. In which fictional town is Coronation Street set? That is Weatherfield. The largest landlocked country in the world by size is Kazakhstan. What type of lift was used to lift 500 kilos off the floor? That was a deadlift. If you complete the 3 peaks challenge, you need all 3. Okay, no half marks and third marks. So we can't. Just you've got to get it right. Scafell Pike, Ben Nevis, and Snowdon. Scafell Pike, Ben Nevis, and Snowdon. There are 21 stages of the Tour de France. On question number 6, the letterbox in number 10 Downing Street says the First Lord of the Treasury. The famous rowing course, which is 2,112 metres long, is the Henley Regatta course. The city with more Michelin-starred restaurants than any other in the world is Tokyo. In which sport would you see the Keirin, the Madison, and the Omnium? That's track cycling. What number? So a few of you are asking me to repeat this. I'll repeat it now. What type of number can always be written as a fraction in the form A over B, where A and B represent whole numbers? And that is obviously a rational number. And the last question was to name the last 10 US presidents. I'll do it in order and I'll go slow. So you could have Obama, Bush, George W. Bush, Clinton, then you've got George Bush Sr., Ronald Reagan, Jimmy Carter, Ford, Nixon, Johnson, and Kennedy. I'll do that one more time. Obama, Bush, Clinton, Bush, Reagan, Carter, Ford, Nixon, Johnson, and Kennedy. On the logos round, question number 1. What is common to both Budweiser and Rolex logos? They both have a crown. Which fast food restaurant is represented by the golden arches? That's McDonald's. The Brewers logo featuring a red triangle is Bass. The double C logo is Chanel.
Say that again.
Am I saying that right?
Say that again. Say it again.
Chanel.
Nice.
Channel. The logo, which features a picture of the Matterhorn, is the Toblerone. A maroon seagull is for Hollister. The company logo, which implies providing everything from A to Z, is Amazon. The company logo in question 8, which has a hidden arrow, is the FedEx logo. And question 9, what colour bow tie does Julius Pringles wear? It's a red one. How many official logos does Adidas have? It has 4. And then the picture round, so in order, the pictures that I showed you, you've got, it was Bridgestone, United Airlines, North Face, Goodyear, Guinness, Post-it Notes, Sony Ericsson, Pizza Hut, Nescafe, and Citroen. Okay, for the music round, and again, thank you so much for...
Just do those 10 logos again.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Bridgestone, United Airlines, North Face, Goodyear, Guinness, Post-it Notes, Sony Ericsson, Pizza Hut, Nescafe, and Citroen. Is that better?
Yeah, it's lovely. Thank you.
Okay. I need a producer. So for the music round, we've got the biggest selling single of 1960 was by Elvis Presley. I don't know what it was, but Louise and Patrick will tell us. Number 2, how many symphonies did Beethoven write? He wrote 9. The biggest selling hit on that album from Ed Sheeran was Shape of You. The Rolling Stones' Start Me Up was released in the 1980s, 1981 specifically, but it was the 1980s. Question number 6, the 1984 rock music mockumentary, I'm not reading that question again, This Is Spinal Tap. The well-known 80s band with an album called Seven and the Ragged Tiger was Duran Duran. The Alleluia chorus was written by Handel as part of the Messiah. The band, so the winners of Pop Stars The Rivals was Girls Aloud.
Apparently you missed out the answer to question number 5.
I did, yeah. So question number 5, what was number 1 when we entered lockdown? That was Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. Blinding Lights. All right, I've got the message. Well, there's about 10 of you telling me that I've missed it out. I get it. All right. I only need to be told once. I'm not like you guys. So where are I up to now? Question 10. Which Queen album followed A Night at the Opera? It was A Day at the Races. And the 10 most streamed Beatles songs on Spotify are Here Comes the Sun, Come Together, Let It Be, Hey Jude, Yesterday, Twist and Shout, I Want to Hold Your Hand, Blackbird, In My Life, and Help. Some of you are still asking for question number 5. I'll just say it because in case you missed what I just said. It was Blinding Lights. Blinding Lights by The Weeknd. That was the answer to question 5. Okay, current affairs round. This is the last one. So, COBRA stands for Cabinet Office Briefing Room A. How can we not know that? That's all we hear about. Cabinet Office Briefing Room A. The famous floral event, which is moving online, is the Chelsea Flower Show. Who can't imagine why disinfectant calls spiked this week is President Trump. What have fans been tuning into at 8 o'clock on Saturday nights to sing along to? It is Eurovision. Tesco boss Dave Lewis has said that the weekly shop is what is coming back into fashion, or has come back into fashion. It was the weekly shop. The grandfather of Kim Jong-un is Kim Il-sung, or it was Kim Il-sung. The chief medical officer for England is Professor Chris Whitty. The winners of which show pledged to give their winnings to help street children was Race Across the World. Teddy Millward died this week, and he taught Prince Charles. He taught Welsh to Prince Charles. I only know that because it was in The Crown. Question 10. A new nightclub was reported to have opened this week, and it's supporting raising money for the NHS. But obviously, because we're in lockdown, where did it open? It was opened in Minecraft. And 10 politicians who have led the daily Downing Street briefing. There's more than 10 answers, I think. So just 10, maximum score of 10 for these. You could have had Boris Johnson, Dominic Raab, Rishi Sunak, Matt Hancock, Michael Gove, Priti Patel, Grant Shapps, Alok Sharma, George Eustace, Robert Jenrick, or Gavin Williamson. Okay, all of those guys have led the daily Downing Street briefing. So you will maybe now just be frantically adding up your scores, and we'll do a call out of all the scores that you put in the comments box. So whilst you're doing that, it's my time as usual just to call last orders, just in time for us to get all cozy, make a cup of tea, and get Gogglebox on the TV.
Oh, the cat.
We'll get the cat. So whilst I'm reading out the scores, I can just remind you, please, over the next week, stay safe, be nice to each other, look after each other, enjoy remote learning and virtual school. Hope you have a really nice, relaxing weekend this weekend as well, and enjoy the Strava run or the Strava cycle tomorrow as well. So here are the scores then coming through. We've got Les Quizrables on 50. The Humphreys are on 54. Kenny's on 56. Rapplemore's 54. Brereton's 54. Fabo 321 54. The Ashes on 46. The Houghton on 59. Briggs on 48. 57 for the Passmores. 62 for Mr. Milburn. 55 for the Kellets. 43 for the Banans. 20 for Tom Sharp. 48 for the Dirkoops. 47 for the Fishers. 56 for the Youngs. McPhee's on 50. 63 for Mr. Jones. I think that might be a winner. 61 for Craven and O'Hare. 60 for Kyle. 53 for Karen C. 38 for the Alcocks. 81 for the Dr. Rosario, you cheater. 48 for the Coltises. The Deans on 22. 50 for the Weatherstones. 52 for the Woods. I think we might have made it a little bit hard this week. 37 for the Gardeners. 59 for the Wars. 40 for the Mackworth Prides. And they're still coming through. So lots and lots of scores in the 40s and 50s. I think Mr. Jones, if there was a man who deserved a win, it was certainly you. And here's your prize, Mr. Jones, okay? We've just woken him up, especially. There he is. There we go. Okay, everyone happy now? They've got their fix of Wilson for the week. Okay, say hello. Look, this is what I mean. Like last week, he was a two-hander. Now, it's 2.5-hander. He's getting big. Yeah, okay, well, there you go. All right, look, you're a star. There you go. Right, well, I hope you've all had a really nice time again, as usual, and we look forward to seeing you all next week. So I'll just hand that one back to you. Well done again. So yeah, we'll see you all next Friday. So for the time being, everybody get out. Go on. You've all got homes to go to. Get out of my pub. Go on. Out, out.